Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk about new features provided into the Oracle inventory model in R12 version. Okay, here are the new features, or you can say enhancement provided into the inventory module in release 12. Uh, let's go by one. Oracle process inventory, which is used by the Oracle process manufacturing, is no longer absolute. Second one is dual unit of measure control has been introduced into R12 Oracle discrete inventory. More enhanced material control, it is now which is mainly governed by the material statuses, is now available in release 12. More additional lot attributes has been introduced in R12. Improved lot traceability, lot level UOM conversions, lot divisibility. Yep, all these features have been introduced into the R12. Oracle process manufacturing, called as OPM, is a group of modules which are specifically developed for process manufacturing industry. OPM is used to have process inventory module in release 11, and that module is no longer used in release 12. Now OPM is using discrete inventory. Okay, even though you do not have Oracle process manufacturing, it's really good to know that this kind of changes happen. Why I'm saying this? Because lot of good feature from the process inventory has been now introduced into discrete inventory. Some of the examples are like dual unit of measure control. Technically speaking, tables which are starting with prefix IC are no longer used. For example, IC item must, which used to store the item details which are getting stored from the process inventory. Dual unit of measure control. What is dual unit of measure? Certain industries need their products to be tracked in inventory in multiple units of measure. This is because of the inherent nature of the product. Yeah, for example, they have a need of products to be shipped in a 1 unit of measure, but they are invoiced in another unit of measure. For example, packaged chickens. Packaged chickens are normally shipped in a carton. Let's say carton contains 10 or 12 pieces of 12 chickens, but actually those are invoiced in according to the weight of the carton, and there is no fixed conversion rate between the carton and its weight because all chickens are of not same weight. Okay, so in such a cases where there is no constant fixed conversion rate between the 1 unit of measure and the primary unit of measure and the secondary unit of measure, this functionality which is given by Oracle in R12 is really useful. Okay, so whenever you get a receive material, you can track those into the multiple of units of measure. Basically, you need to enable this feature at the item level, where you can specify tracked in a primary and secondary, and also specify the secondary unit of measure. So this is where we can mention that this item can be tracked in a primary and secondary unit of measure. Now, even without as earlier said, even without having a constant quantity can be tracked in two unit of measures. We can have tracking in the inventory transaction, then reserving the quantities, and on hand availability functionality. There we can see the quantities in multiple units of measure if we have enabled this feature. Okay, so next one. Okay, this is enhanced feature given in the release 12 inventory module. We can basically govern the basically control certain transactions based on the material status. What are different material statuses a business can have? It depends on the business need. For example, they can have a status called active, QA pending, ready for commercial use, ready for shipping. It really depends on the business need. This can be either seeded given by Oracle, or it can be user defined as per the business need. Now we can do a setup in such a way that we can allow or disallow certain transactions for these material statuses. For example, if there is a business need which says that material in the status of QA pending cannot be allowed to do a shipping transaction. So certain things, these kind of things we can do. Also, based on the material status, can this material be involved in the nettable calculation in MRP, or can this material be reserved, or can this material be included into the ATP calculation? This kind of control we can do. Now we have a flexibility to set material status at various levels, such as sub-inventory level, locator level, lot level, or serial number level. So this flexibility is also there now in R12. When system determines this transaction is allowed or not allowed for this particular material, how it is done, it's based on the cumulative status of the material. What is meant by the cumulative status? Cumulative status is basically for example, as we define status of the material at different levels, like sub-inventory, locator, lot, and serial number. Cumulative status of that material has to be valid to do the transaction. For example, if we have to do a shipping transaction, the status of the material should be active. If this is the case, then if a material from a particular locator has to have status at locator level as active, as well as the sub-inventory level also active. If the material status is active at sub-inventory and not active or something else, like on hold at the locator level, the material from the particular locators will not be allowed for the shipping transaction. That's meant by the cumulative status. Show you what are the setups needed to have material status control in the inventory. Profile option, inventory material status supports need to be set as a yes. Then you need to enable the transaction to eligible for the status control. If you do not have a transaction enabled for status control, then all these material status controls, that particular transaction will not follow the material status control restrictions. Here this is the form where we can define material statuses, and as well as mention it can be allowed while reserving the material, or can be included in the calculation of available promise, and also calculation of net table in MRP module. Then also the usage. These are the various levels at which we can control the material status. We can enable those here so that we can give status to material at these different levels. Now, if you see the lower portion of the form where we can define which are the transactions allowed and which are not. So if you think, for in this example we have status called blocked and we do not want certain transactions to be not allowed in the status, then we can drag those into the from left side to the right side. Now let's talk about the additional lot attributes provided into the R12 inventory. There are lot of different attributes provided, and those are governed at the item master level. If you can see, there is a section called lot expiration and shelf life. We can either say this particular item can be governed using the expiration control or not. It can, we have a value there as a shelf life days. If we mention that, then we can have item which is going to expire after some point, after some days. So let's understand what is shelf life days. Basically, especially in a food industry, every item which they purchase as a raw material or every item they produce as a finished good has a certain shelf life. It gets expired or their original properties become get reduced to which are not acceptable which are not acceptable by the customer or by the production people. So we can define shelf life on the item master form. Also retest interval. There are certain products which needs to be products, or you can say raw material or material, you can say those need to be restated after every certain interval. Okay, we can define that here. Expiration action interval, when is the actually we are going to have an action on the expired item. We can define that. What is going to be the expiration action? Are we going to reuse it by doing certain processing, or are we going to destroy it? That action can be defined on this form for the particular lot. Also, another feature is provided is a grade control. Do you want your item to be a grade control? Then we can have that option checked. Also, we can give a default grade. Default grades are basically grade. Let's try to understand what is grade. Especially in food industry and process industry, wherever we buy purchase raw material, that can have a different grades. For example, a same supplier can give ingredients which are going to be in your finished good in a different grades. Some of those are superior quality, some of the inferior quality, and these grades are important for you to know, so that when you are producing your product, that comes with a certain grades also, like it's a superior, or those are required by certain customers to have ingredients of this grade or this quality. So that feature, if we have to use, then the item has to be grade controlled. Okay, now based on this setup, the lot attributes gets default values, though we can override those values at the lot form and have while we are creating the lot, we can change those values. Okay. So here is the lot form where you can see retest date is there, expiration action date is there, expiration action code is there. So if we define certain retest interval at the item level, the retest date is calculated and defaulted by the system. Same with the expiration action date. If we have defined the expiration action interval, then the expiration action date will be calculated here. Okay. Also the action code gets defaulted from the item level setup. If it's not there, we can change it. Okay, now let's talk about the how Oracle has improved the lot traceability. Oracle has given in R12 they have given a parent-child lot tracking feature. We can call it as a sub-lot tracking. By using this feature, basically we can create lots and assign parent lot to these lots or assign to those lots. Okay, so if you see, we have on the item master place called child lot enable. If we enable this feature, then we can have a parent child lot tracking feature functional, and there are certain details given here like child generation, prefix and starting number. This will basically govern that if we are creating a child lot, what is going to be prefix for the lot, okay, and at what is the starting number for the lot. And if you want to include the parent lot number in the naming of the child lot number, that also can be done by using child generation field over here. So basically this is a good feature. Now let's see, yeah, this is a good feature to track your parent child relation between the lot. For example, you are producing a batch, okay, which is producing a penicillin, which is further going to be used in production of capsules which contains penicillin and tablets which contains the penicillin. So but the business demand is that when you are tracking, you want to track, like I want to see the lot from the capsule and see that which lot the penicillin has been produced. So in this case, this kind of feature is useful. Basically you will create a parent lot for producing a penicillin, and when you are creating a capsules, you will basically create a lot and assign a parent lot which is from the which has produced the penicillin, okay, so in this way you can track basically parent relation between the different lots. Okay, yeah, if you can see in this screen, this is a lot screen where you can see that there is a parent lot field. This is not a mandatory field, but if you want to associate your current lot with a parent lot, you can give the parent lot and then generate a lot, so that the new lot created will be having a naming standard which is defined at the item master level. In addition to the other features, you can also search the lots, search the lots or search your materials by lots using the parent lot field. So the additional feature of searching your lots based on the parent lots. Okay, lot level UAM conversion. Now, as you earlier know that UAM conversion can be done at the item level. Okay, you can specifically do the unit of measure conversion at the lot level. If your item is using multiple unit of measures like primary and secondary, and tracking has been done set up at primary and secondary at item level, we can use a lot specific UAM conversion. So in this case, especially due to the certain business scenarios, let's say you are creating a batch and you have a material, you are producing a material which is tracked in a multiple unit of measures, but due to the certain nature, like if you are creating a batch today, you may have a different conversion rate between the primary and secondary, and maybe you are creating the same similar batch, like let's say after 3 months you may have a different conversion rate between the primary and secondary unit of measure. This kind of a scenario exists in a business, then this picture is really useful. So what we can do is basically we can create a lot, okay, and assign a specific rate for a conversion rate for that lot between the primary and secondary unit of measure. Okay, now what happens if we have already created lot and already have a specific unit of measure of conversion between the primary and secondary unit of measure for that lot? Now we want to update that conversion. Okay, so we can do that, and if we do that, we have ability to update the on-hand balances. So using this form we can update the on-hand balances, and system will take care based on the new conversion rate. It goes and update the secondary unit of measure quantities on the on-hand balances or primary unit of measure quantities based on the what we have changed in the conversion rate. Okay, so this is another good feature given into the Oracle inventory and release plan. Lot divisibility, or we can say indivisibility. If you see the item master form, there is a checkbox called lot divisible. If we check that box, then we are setting up or asking system to, it's okay to divide the lots when we are doing transaction. When we do not check this box, that means we are forcing a system to only use full lots while doing a transaction. So basically, if we uncheck this checkbox, then whenever we are transacting, like we are issuing material or we are receiving a material or we are shipping the material doing this transaction, then we are doing this in the full quantity of lots. Whatever quantity is available in the lots, in that sizes only will do the transaction.